Welcome to Mother Suckers Hero Hunters. It's the People's Guard review. You can see what my team looked like before I started doing some major upgrades. And we're going to get right into it. It's a very powerful faction. We're going to start with Mauler. I've already done an entire video on him a while back about how he's broken. And guess what? He's still broken. So you better get your Mauler up because he is really important always. But especially this month. Now I see everybody using him. He's gotten way more popular the last while when people realize how great he is because his skills just stack on each other and he stuns and he's doing lots of damage, especially with Halo. So he's definitely somebody you want to get up. Now I already had him at max, so I'm not doing any upgrades here, but just showing you what his stats look like at 10 star plus plat plus 3. And he just basically melts other teams. Like you can see what he's doing here. And you can combine him with other people to really max him out, like with Halo, with Caine, Ifrit, Moss, even Oracle, anyone that's disorienting or adding extra damage or getting his stuns up. Now his skin was nerfed, which I think was a good thing, that he does less critical hits now, but he's still very powerful and great on any team. So check out my other video to get a full review on him. I don't think much has changed for him since then. He's still absolutely dominating. And you're going to see me do something I've never done before in a faction review. I've got a rating up very high on PvP. Because if you don't have him up, you're going to have problems. So get your Mauler up, and of course Bounty is going to be amazing. Ronin, also a character that people have slept on for a little while. As you can see, I'm going to be upgrading him to 10 star now, which was dying to do this, but I had to wait until the frag event. So get him up and feel that hit when the $2.5 million goes out the door. But yeah, I mean, you can see his skills are pretty well rounded. I mean, for the main thing for him is he's just got high damage to begin with, but it's really about getting additional characters on the screen with him that have lower HP than him to boost up his honor bound. He's really all about honor bound. I don't even really like using his eviscerate skill that much. It's helpful sometimes, but for me it's really just all about headshotting and repeatedly damaging other people. And he's taken down mechs as well as he's taking down energies and bios. It doesn't even matter because he's doing just so much damage. But you can see honor bound is really important for him to get the other heroes' health up as well as get his damage way up. So let's put him into battle. You're going to see, look how this fast he destroys Maven. In one clip, she's done. And now we're looking at Fortress, and he's going to go down in a couple of clips. So he just, look at this. Right now you can see he's got 3 charges of honor bound because everyone except for Mandrake has lower HP than him, and then they also got an HP boost. So it's really just great. So I mean, if you want to really see this go nuts, get him on the screen with Hivemind and Halloway, and their clones and their drones count for honor bound charges. So that's when you things really get out of hand, and his damage is just off the charts. But usually Hivemind and Halloway are not very strong, but still you can try it out. So very high in bounty, and also very high in PvP. You're going to need a good Ronin. You can see people are using him, so get him up. Francoise, I think there's some people that kind of think that she's great and some people that don't. I'm on the camp that, like, I feel like I'd love to use her, but I just find that sometimes her stuff is just too many chances you have to take. If you can take a swig going and get it all the way up and get 4 charges of that, and then she throws her Invigorate at somebody, the match is going to be done very quickly. But just getting there and taking the swig if it gets interrupted. So I feel like she's good. She's got high damage. She's a useful auxiliary character. I just use her more for fun. I'm not seeing as much in PvP, for example, that I'm loving taking her on teams. I just haven't had as much good luck with her, but other people seem to love her and use her. But guess what? I don't see her much in PvP action unless there's an event probably going on. I'll see her, right? So this is definitely, I'm going to acknowledge this is a troll team. It does lose way more than it wins, so just saying I'm not trying to hassle people at lower levels, but I use it for fun because I'm trying to challenge myself and I get bored. But you can see what happens with Francoise. She's got high damage to begin with, especially against mechs. Take a swig, do it where the cover's broken so that it's harder to get interrupted, but usually it does get interrupted, and that's why I think Francoise is a bit contentious. Is she really good, is she not? But make sure you're controlling her so you can throw it at the right hero. Here obviously I only have one choice with Beck, but now watch what happens to Beck's damage. It just goes through the roof with all those charges, and getting extra health, they're getting extra damage, and that is why Francoise can dominate if you can get to that stage. You can see how the other teams just then melt away. So that's really her main use, is trying to up the damage and health of some other people and just kind of throwing a wrench into the plans. And she's awfully hard to kill, especially when you're outnumbered like this, that she gets some extra skills like evade, which is why I've combined her with Beck. So I don't know if she's going to be high in bounty or not. That's going to depend on if you can take a swig to work, and in PvP high, but because there's so many high damage characters, she's probably less important to use than others like Mauler and Ronin. Savage, now I've done an entire video on Savage and Halo together, and he's kind of made a comeback because of the changes they did to him when they made it so that now his spray and pray hits invisible heroes. That is huge because people are still using Drake all over the place, and you might use Ifrit to do Showtime or Nightingale to mark them, or West. I don't know what he uses West, let's be honest. But Savage is good because now I don't care if you're hiding or not, my spray and pray is going to hit you. So I've been waiting also to get him up to 10 stars because he just seems to die easily. He's got a lot of health, but he's a priority target. People see Savage, they want to take him down quick because they know what you're trying to do. You're trying to spam the Savage and Halo combination because he sets off Halo's plat, and 40% chance of that, 50% chance of Halo's plat, and so you can just see the lightning show going off. So he's really only useful with Halo. I don't see any use for him without her. Without her, he doesn't do enough damage, doesn't do enough to make him very useful. So it's now about spray and praying, spamming the hell out of that, which is what I'm trying to do here. And if the match goes on long enough, then defensive fire goes off, and then you do spray and pray, and then it's really over because now the other people are getting interrupted, and they can't even, they can barely even interrupt you. So now, like at this stage, I put this on, now I do spray and pray, and watch all of the heroes, they're going to get interrupted, and they're just going to have a really hard time. So it's pretty unfair if you get this off, especially you got to use him with Drake because then he's in flatline and people like that to keep him alive. I like Keel because Keel gives you a lot more armor too, so Keel, Drake, flatline is a really good combination to keep Savage alive. This match seems to be taking a little longer than normally these matches go, but at least I'm going to win. Just one heart lost in flatline. So yeah, that's pretty much Savage. So the thing about him is I don't really know if he'll be useful in Bounty because you maybe put him with Halo and see what happens if he does damage, but that's going to be a question mark. But definitely get him up on PvP. Again, there's no really low characters on this faction except maybe Castellan because there's just so many high damage heroes. So the lowest you're going to see is high except for Castellan. Now I'm not doing Kaishi. I'm going to be putting him in another video altogether. Now this one, Halo, she has been a really great hero for a long time, and they did nerf for a while back to say that you can only set off her platinum skill every so often, a certain amount of times in a row, and not everything now sets it off. Before it used to be any additional damage from anything else would set it off, and that was getting out of hand with like even Baron's out of cover damage. So they nerfed her, which was good, but she's amazing. She does a lot of healing. When you put her protective shield, protective glow on, and it just heals everybody up. Basically it heals the entire team almost completely most of the time. But you're never really going to control her. I'm just doing it here for this video. Really, it's all about her plat, and you want to pair her with like the people that are going to set it off: Savage, Mauler, Hivemind, Halloway. And really, you're not going to control her because you just want to get that platinum off. Any skill she's doing is going to be good at the time because her heal heals everybody and her lightning almost attacks everybody. So really, just let her do her thing, and she will. Look at this. When she sets off the lightning, she's like taking people out. So I really like Halo. I like using her in a lot of teams because she's really good at everything. She's one of the best support heroes there is. And you're going to find in this month is that I think that people are going to find some really creative ways to use her in Bounty to get maximum damage. I feel like I'm going to be reviving her a lot just because everything sets her off. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see what happens. And in PvP, of course, very high. You're going to have to make sure your Halo is up too. So now we have Castellan, probably the weakest, not probably, he is the weakest hero in this faction. Some people are like, oh, it's going to be amazing, he dominates at 10 star, and you know, when he puts up his shield wall, and he's got that turret out, like, it's pretty annoying, and he's hard to kill, but I don't know that I would say that he's like somebody that I'm going to put as high priority. If I have to pick between Ronin or Halo and Castellan as an energy hero, he's going to be last on my list, so I wouldn't put too much priority on him. I do think that you're going to want to get him up, to try to get him up to the 8 star for that bounty multiplier for damage. But other than that, I wouldn't worry too much about him. Definitely get him up to plat. It's easy these days to do that. I got mine up to plat +2 so far. And now let's put him in PvP. And just like with Halo, I don't think I'm ever going to suggest to control him. Just let him do his thing, put his turret up, put up the shield wall wherever it's going to be, and hope for the best. So I'm going to let Castellan do his thing. Obviously, he takes quite a while to kill people, so I'm just going to let him do his thing. And just talk about how crazy things are going to look this month. I'm predicting that in all these PvP events, it's going to really be about Mauler versus Mauler. Who can stun who's Mauler first, or whose Ronin can take out the other person's Mauler first. I think Mauler is going to be central to this whole month in terms of PvP. In terms of bounty, yes, definitely Mauler, Ronin, Halo, and whoever's going to get creative and find ways to make Halo's plat go off as much as possible. I think that is going to be what determines bounty success. So on PvP, I mean, I gotta say about Mauler, I really do hope that they nerf him in the next little while, because it's just, I'm seeing it so much, and when a hero is used on a team that high level of percentage, they know that, and getting all those wins, that they know something's up. And it's not fun. I mean, I'm fighting people with less skill or the same skill, and it's just a matter of whose Mauler hits who first and stuns first. And that's, I don't know, it's not as fun. It's kind of fun when you first learn about it, like, oh wow, this team's really, really strong, but I hope that they balance it out. But overall, it's a fun faction. I'm looking forward to this month, and it's going to be great. So anyways, Castellan, low on bounty, low on PvP. Really say don't bother with him too much. Now you see my People's Guard and how they look after the Frenzy. Added a few stars, quite a few bars. And anyways, this month, good luck and happy hunting!